Hey, 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 how are you guys? Dr. Vong here. Welcome. Today is April 29th, Saturday. I want to do a quick COVID update. Also want to tell you a little bit about my weight loss challenge, which is happening right now. We'll wait for some people to come on in. The enrollment for my weight loss challenge opens up once a month. But in case you're new to me, I'm Dr. Duck Vong. I'm a bariatric surgeon, 2 years retired. I've written 13 books. I've trained surgeons. I helped a lot of people in the bariatric world. You might know me from my How COVID Kills You video back in April, which got 16 million views. Here's my diploma, not just from med school, Texas A&M University. Here's my surgical residency diploma right there, general surgery diploma. Just to prove to you that I really am a doctor, I really am a surgeon, know something about what I'm talking about. I'm not a Facebook doctor or someone like that. I still stay very active in the weight loss community. That's pretty much my follow. Number one risk factor for poor outcomes from COVID is morbid obesity. So that's why I talk about coronavirus. That's why I do what I do. That's why I love it when you guys hit share. I'm here to help the community. That's why more than now, it's important to really get serious about this. We're making progress, but not as fast as it should be. I'm going to talk about the second wave today. I'm going to talk about convalescent plasma. I'm going to talk about why we will have more cases, but fewer deaths. But the numbers are still pretty grim. Projection is 300,000 American deaths by December. 300,000 American deaths. That's the latest projections. So do me a favor while we're waiting for people to come on in. Just tell me where you're watching from and hit share for me real quick. All right. Lake Tahoe Gym, thank you for all you do. Thank you. Edward, Crazy, Arizona, Tucson. John Clark, look at that. Lost 74 pounds from being in a challenge. Thank you. Social distance mask window during the wildfire. It sucks, man. Brandy, you're right. Hey, San Antonio, what's up? I'm currently in Houston. Where are you guys from? Dallas? Sarah, I'm from Houston. Perry, Georgia. Candace, what's up? All right. Callie. Oh my gosh, all these comments are coming in. Deborah from Canada, thank you so much. See, I've told you I'm internationally famous. People don't believe it. Miami, Florida's in the house. Lee, Rachel from Lubbock, Texas. I just drove by there the other day. Austin, one of my favorite cities. I might actually be moving to Austin. I love that town. New York City, I love New York City too, Michelle. Tell you what. Hey, 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 Marionville, Missouri, stay safe. You guys are getting pretty hot. South Texas, McAllen. Robin, you better stay safe because it is red hot down there. Hold on. Did I see Pakistan? What's up with that? Oh, I have the Netherlands. Let me see. Renee Gerritsen from the Netherlands in the house. Sahar Islam from Pakistan. Wow, look at this. You guys are amazing. Sarah Lewis Ratliff, thank you so much. Oh, check this out. Roanoke, Virginia. What's up? I was just there last year. Did a road trip. Dawn Pierce from Ardmore, Oklahoma. Tampa, Florida's in the house. Colorado's in the house. Angel, I just did a 2-week road trip through Colorado, Wyoming. Beautiful country. Love Durango. Really love Ouray. Ontario, Tammy, what's up? How are you doing? Ohio's in the house. Stay safe. Ohio could be bad. Right. Hey, Stacy, I grew up in Longview, Texas, believe it or not. I am a Longview Lobo, class of 1991. Johan from South Africa. Hey, let's talk about this. This is going to be awesome. See, I told you I am internationally famous. You guys are awesome. Okay, let's vote. 1 cussing, 2 no cussing. Let's get this right out there. 1 cussing or 2 no cussing. Let's see who wins. 1 cussing, 2 no cussing. All right. I got my hair cut. I got my hair done. 1 cussing, 2 no cussing. Oh, come on, baby. Be sweet. 2, baby. Uh-oh. We got cussing. Let me see. Let me fire it up. Oh, look at that. Marty says no. Edward says sensitive. Esperanza. Woohoo! I see more ones and twos, I think. Look at that. One cussing, two no cussing. One cussing, two no cussing. JL says, no, Dr. V. Tina bombs me with an F-bomb. Fuck yes. Oh, no. No, no, no. All right. Two. Cuss. All right. I'll do a little cuss and keep it down a little bit. But we'll see. We'll keep it real. That's right. I like keeping it real. Real quick, let me show you about my challenge, weightlosschallenge.com, and then we will get started. I promise you. Hang tight with me real quick. I open my challenge once a month, and we are open right now. So if you go to weightlosschallenge.com, you'll get this website. This is what we do. We open it up. I'm here to help you design your new life. It closes September 2nd for less than $1 a day. You will get a daily email task from me, a daily Facebook Live with me. I do briefly coronavirus updates. We will get you an accountability partner, help you lose weight, get healthy. We'll get you 2 exclusive Facebook groups. Check out this testimonial right here.
On February 1st, I joined Dr. V's 28-day leap year weight loss challenge. 6 months later, I'm still here. I've lost 40 pounds since that day,
Woo-hoo!
and I'm still going strong.
Yeah.
I wake up every morning to watch Dr. V give his Facebook Live that I just get so much inspiration from. Some mornings more than others, but all mornings he's there for me. I feel like he's talking to me, like somehow he magically knew what I needed to talk about, and he's offering. You just have to be there with open arms and ready to receive it. He's changed my relationship with food.
Yeah.
He's given me inspiration to garden and know where my food is coming from and what I'm eating exactly. He makes me look at my finances and my money. Everything all comes down to my weight loss and who I am as a wife, a mother, and a friend. And I thank him for that. And I know this journey is not over and there is so much more to come. I hope you'll join us in our journey. The V Tribe has become so strong and they are my family. See you at Thanksgiving dinner.
See you at Thanksgiving dinner. That's right. We are creating this community of people, guys, that is called the V Tribe and the challenge. It's super powerful. We're very close knit. For as little as $27 a month, you can invest in yourself. You get all this community. You get all this support. We do elimination goals. This month, it's no red meat, which, check this shit out. Red meat includes beef and pork. Pork is not the other white meat. Pork is actually a red meat. I personally am giving up beef, which means Erica's making pot roast tonight, and then tomorrow for Sunday, I'm sure I'm going to do a steak and then a ribeye, and then we'll be gone. We do weekend exercise tips to help you loosen your muscles, get stretched out. This is Cynthia Dales. She's certified in 3 different areas. It's a growing challenge, so it changes as you go, and it's not stagnant. I cover a lot of topics. You can see all this stuff for yourself. So invest in yourself. That's it. I'm not going to really hit you hard, but I hope you'll check it out. It means a lot to me. And we'll get to your questions here, right? weightlosschallenge.com. So thank you guys for hanging out. All right. 1 cussing, 2 no cussing. I got a couple of things I want to do, and then we'll take your question there. June says it's worth every dollar. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. All right. Shay wants me to cuss up a storm. Christina Whitaker, I love being in the challenge. Thank you, Christina. Kitty is in the challenge. Very motivational. Awesome. So, all right. There's a couple things I want to talk about. Okay. So here we go. Let me see. Number one. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. We're going to talk about it again today. Spain is the new second. All right. Spain is the new second wave. This is super important. You guys pay attention because here in the United States, we haven't heard much about Spain, but it's the new second wave. All right. What I did was I went back and I looked. Okay, let me share my screen with you real quick. So someone hit share for me real quick. Spain is the new second wave. We are not hearing anything about Europe right now here in the United States. I don't know, if you guys are hearing about it in Europe, or I don't know if you're watching from Canada. Are you guys hearing about Spain or in other countries? Because in the United States, we are not hearing about Spain, but it is the new second wave, and France. I want to show you something real quick. South Africa is in the house. Are you hearing about Spain? Right? This is the new second wave. So let me share my screen with you real quick. I want to show you what I'm talking about. Okay. This is super important. Okay. So here's the New York Times database. This is the global outbreak. All right. Now, Spain is red hot. 7,600 cases is their daily average case. Why are we not hearing about the United States? Well, because in the US, we got up to 70,000 cases in one day. 70,000 cases. We are still dealing with 42,000 cases a day. Yesterday, we had a horrible day, like 53,000 cases again. So Spain, you go 7,000 cases, not so bad. 7,600 cases. Here's the problem. Last week, exactly a week ago, I said, guys, 2 weeks ago, I said, guys, you need to watch out. Spain is already back up to over 1,000 cases a day, even though they had gotten down to 100. And at the beginning of the week, I said to my challenge members, I said, we are at 3,000 cases a day in Spain. By the end of the week, they're up to 7,600. But let me show you something really quickly. This is super important. So you go to countries here, and if you look at Spain, remember back in April when all this shit started and people were like, oh my God, Spain's terrible. Look how many cases they have, da, da, da. And you saw the pictures of the ICU and everything being overwhelmed. So I was like, like how many cases did they have? They had like 20,000 cases, 30,000 cases a day. All right. So can y'all see this? Let me see if I can increase my screen. So this is Spain back in April. Check that shit out. At their peak in one day, it was 9,700 cases. They averaged about 8,000 cases a day. Look at that shit. Back in their peak, they were averaging 8,000 cases a day. Look at this. Right now, they have, yesterday, they had 9,700 new cases, and their 7-day average is 7,600. They are basically back to where they were back in April when all this mess started. Does that make sense what I'm telling you? This is craziness. So this is the definition of a second wave, right? They blunted the curve. They flattened the curve. They got it back down. Look, all through June, starting in June, July, they're around 181 cases was their low point. And now, since then, June 15th, they opened up. Look at that. That number is climbing. They're at 7,600. Essentially their peak. Is that not crazy? Okay, now, so then I went to France. I was like, well, what about France, right? France is up to 4,600 cases a day now. Well, that's not so bad. In the US, we have 10 times that much. We have 40,000. But look, if you look at France, hey, if this is helpful, hit share for me. I appreciate that. Here's France coronavirus map and case count. Back in April, in the freaking heart of this, look what we got. 4,800. They're running 7-day average is 4,400. See that? That's their average. They flatten the curve. They get it down. They're at around 200 cases, right? 200 cases, 300 cases, right? And boom, look at yesterday. Look, yesterday, 4,200 cases is a 7-day average. Yesterday was 7,000 cases. So France is back to where they were back in April in terms of number of cases. And we are not fucking seeing this in the United States, right? There is no mention in the news at all about Spain and France. And I'm telling you, this is the start. They are in the second wave, and the second wave is much worse than the first wave. Second wave is going to be huge, all right? So France is a total in the second wave. Now, who remembers all of the pictures about Italy? Italy was the big place. Italy was, people were dying. Death rate was super high. What was happening up in Italy? Let me show you Italy. So Italy is around 1,100 cases yesterday. What were they back? What were they back in April? How many cases did Italy have back in April? Check this shit out. Back in April, in their peak, 6,000 cases. That was where their peak was. And they were overrun with coronavirus, ICU, people dying on the floor. Anybody over 80 was not going to get intubated. Remember all this stuff? Yes. God bless them. They locked down. They got the number way down low, 126 cases in June. They opened back up. And as of yesterday, 1,400 cases with 1,100 7-day average. They are 1/5 of the way there, guys. They are almost back. They're 20% back, right? And because we're United States, we don't really understand geography. What if you will look worldwide, you will see what I'm talking about. Spain, France, Italy, all border each other like that. So it's coming, started in Spain, right? 7,600 cases a day. France, 4,600 cases, both at the same April peaks. Italy at almost 1,200 cases a day. They peaked at 5,000. Okay, they're 20% of the way there. UK is back up to 1,200. This is going to be big time trouble, guys. Big time trouble. Here's the start of the second wave. What's the problem with this? Fucking America is still, we never flatten the fucking curve. All right. So some of you guys might think this is boring, but I want to show you the United States. Okay. Here's the problem. We freaking got up to 20, 30,000 cases. We were flattening the curve. We're like, oh, we're feeling really good. Here's June. Opened up at 20,000 cases. Burnt. We never got down to 100 cases a day or 200 cases a day. 20,000 cases a day. We're like, you're infringing on my civil liberties. We got to do this. We opened our shit back up and look, boom, at our peak, 70,000 cases a day, 75,000 cases on July 16th. We're like, well, maybe we should shut back down. Maybe we should shut back down. What the fuck's wrong with y'all? Shut back down, right? And now, here, watch. I want you to see this. We're getting all proud. The numbers are going down, right? Numbers are going down. But here's the problem. Here's the problem. You see it's flattening out. For this last week, it's flattened out. Why? Who knows why? Because 2 weeks ago, we started opening up schools. We started opening up colleges, universities. It's going back up, guys. It will go back up. It will plateau. We will never get this shit back down. We can't get our shit together, y'all. This is fucking nuts. The rest of the world looks at us like we're a bunch of fucking idiots. This is so silly. We are the laughing stock. This is non-political. I don't care if you are red state, blue state, liberal, conservative. I don't really care. This is stupidity, right? The whole world is looking at us going, oh, 100, what is wrong with it? We are tomorrow, Monday morning, when y'all wake up, this 5.9 million, we're going to be 6 million cases, and we're going to have 182,000 deaths Monday morning. This is ridiculous. And somehow our leaders think that we are conquering coronavirus behind us. It is not. Okay, so some people are confused. Dr. Vuong, this is the second wave. No, this is still the first wave in the United States. This is still the first wave. Europe is in the second wave. We are still in the first wave. Now, let me tell you some other crazy ass shit. Check this shit out. March 26th, let's say April 1st. We had around the end of March, right? 15,000 cases. We said, oh my God, in the whole United States, we have to shut down schools. We shut down schools at this level, right over here. You guys follow me? Right? Back here, back in mid to late March, we shut down schools at this point. Somehow shutting down schools there makes sense. But here, at 50,000 cases, we're going to open up schools. Right here, beginning of August, at 50,000 cases, we're like, let's open back up schools. What the fuck is wrong with us? What is the problem here? That makes no, oops, I don't know what I did. That makes no sense. Okay, now pay attention, because no one's talking about this crap. Okay, you do not see this. Here's the big next disaster. Brazil's a disaster. Everybody who follows American lead, United States, Mexico, hot. Brazil, a mess, right? South America, Latin America, it's a mess because they look up to the United States as a role model. Except for Canada. Canada follows the UK lead. Canadians hate the UK, hate Americans. They like the UK. So you can see what politics you're following right here. I'm just saying, don't get ugly. Don't get ugly. Okay, but here's what I'm going to show you. No one is talking about India. India has 1.3 to 1.5 billion people with a B. Oh, whatever, Dr. Wong. What? And people are going, oh, United States, we have so many people. We test more than Europe. We got da-da-da. Dude, the U.S. is 0.3 for India. India is 1.3 billion. The U.S. is the 0.3. We have 300 million people in the United States. India has another billion people. They are currently at 70,000 cases a day. This, in a couple weeks, they're going to surpass Brazil as the number 2. And yes, they will pass America only because of the sheer numbers. There's a huge discrepancy between the haves and the have-nots in India. A lot of wealth, a lot of poverty, a lot of people living in squalid conditions. It is going to catch like a wildfire. Not like China, which is a communist dictatorship where they can like completely shut down a whole entire 7 million city with a population of 7 million people, right? India can't do that. They're trying to do that, but dude, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. India has 60,000 deaths. They will surpass America. Their death rate's lower, but you wait and see. Okay, wait and see. All right. So I don't know if that's getting you guys excited or not, hot and bothered or not, right? I mean, the second wave, let me do my second comment here. Second wave is much worse than the first. You can see this in the Spanish flu pandemic. You can see this in the Spanish flu pandemic of 1917, 1918, 1919. There were 3 waves. Europe is in the second wave. Spain will surpass. They are currently at their peak back in April, 7,000, 8,000 cases a day. They will keep going. Mark my words. They will surpass it because the second wave is always worse. They're going to be in the double, 14, 15, 20,000 caseload. Italy is at 20%. They're going to surpass it. If Italy was falling apart at 5,000 or 6,000 cases a day, they're going to totally eat shit when it's 10, 15,000 cases a day. Okay? If this has been helpful, please hit share. Right? Please share this information. All right. Because it affects all of us because we cannot get back to life as normal. Americans cannot travel to Europe, cannot leave the U.S. Canada does not fucking want Americans in. We can't do trade. We can't do all sorts of stuff, man. This is a disaster because people won't wear masks, because people won't social distance, because we got to rush back school. We talked about that yesterday. But I want to stick to the topic. The second wave will be much worse than the first wave. Dr. Vaughn, what about the vaccines, right? Let me talk about vaccines real quick. Oh, before I talk about vaccines, let me talk about the second wave in the United States. We might not make it to the second wave. It might be all one huge fucking big ass wave, right? We got college openings. They're starting to roll back. We got school openings. We're about to have the fucking fall hit, which means, cold. People are going to get frustrated. They're not going to want to hang out inside. Business owners are suffering. Right now, some restaurants are making it because they can set up outdoor patios. Well, what the hell is going to happen when it's like 30 degrees outside? You can't have outdoor patios. People can't sit in that shit. You know, when it's 0 degrees outside for the Celsius people, right? And 0 degree, you can't social distance, man. Right? So people gonna want to go to bars. They're gonna be frustrated. They're gonna want restaurants. It's an election season, right? We've got election coming up in November 3rd here in America. It's gonna be a freaking disaster. All right. We might never even make it to the second wave. It might be one big clusterfuck of a wave, dude. This is embarrassing. And I don't care about the politics, but here's the problem. It's going to die. Watch this. Latest projections, 300,000 American deaths by December. The latest Reuters projection is this: 300,000 American deaths. They just upped it to 317,000. They just upped it to 317,000 because we cannot fucking shut down college for one semester. God forbid these universities with their billion-dollar institutions can't miss one semester, can't refund students one semester, can't delay graduation for one semester, can't go online at half the cost for one semester. One fucking semester could make the whole difference. So now the latest projections are 317,000 American deaths. And that's just American deaths, yo. That's not talking worldwide deaths. And here's the problem. We are becoming incredibly numb to this. Amen. We are so tired. We're so mask holes. I'm so over it. This is going to disappear after November 3rd. Like, go fuck yourself. You fucking kidding me? Like, the virus does not care. Your race, your religion, your politics does not care. Right? Oh, but the vaccine is going to save us, Dr. V. The vaccine, this number right here, 317,000 American deaths should be enough to fucking shame Uncle Billy into wearing a mask. Because eventually it's going to be Uncle Billy. Eventually it's going to get to the protesters. Eventually it's going to get to the people who are going to get mass gatherings and rallies without masks, without social distancing. It's going to get to you. You won't believe it until someone you know dies from it. That's the arrogance that humans have. And you know what? This fucking virus does not care. Yo, it does not care. 317,000 American deaths by December. Ridiculous. Go back and look at my April videos. Go back and look at my late March videos. I said in my late March videos, I said, we will have done our jobs. We will be lucky if we can keep this under 100,000 American deaths. We will be lucky if we can keep this under 100,000 American deaths. What happened? You're a fearmonger, Dr. V. Stop it with your fear-mongering. These businesses are going to go out of business. This is my civil liberty. You're just like trying to stir up shit. And here we sit at 182,000 deaths, and we're going to have 300,000 by Christmas. Ridiculous. Now how do you feel, dickhead? Now how do you feel? Where are you now? Right? Where are you talking now? You see, people aren't talking shit now. See? Everybody here is like, dude, Dr. V, you've been right. And people in my challenge, the weightlosschallenge.com, people in my challenge, I've been warning them this whole time. Look out for Spain. Here comes a second wave. This fall is going to be much worse. Do not open schools. I've been telling them this in the challenge. We are in a depression. The economy's dead. No, Dr. Vaughn, the economy hit all new. That's the stock market hit all new highs. It's all fake money. Dude, I said we need to have more, like 2 weeks to get results in a nasal swab test that's only 70% accurate. It makes no sense. I invested in a company that this is a rapid test, COVID rapid test, results in 10 minutes, right? I've been testing my whole family. Dr. Vaughn, you're traveling. You're not social distance. I test everybody I'm around. Yo, I'm like the president of the United States. I test everybody who comes in contact with me. I get to go on fucking vacation, right? I get to travel. I leave Houston, which was a fucking hot spot in July. I got to go camping with my family. I left, right? I'm not stupid. I'm not tied to dogma. I understand. I think outside the box. I'm trying to get y'all to understand. We don't have to live in prison, but we got to become responsible adults. Okay, let me tell you my next one. Number 4. All right, don't count on a vaccine working. What? Dr. Vong, that's crazy. I'm telling you, don't count on a vaccine working. I had a typo. Don't count on a vaccine working. First of all, it's not coming out anytime soon. I don't care what you see in the news. It's not coming out anytime soon. There are just some things. Now, credit to the scientists, credit to the people who's working, credit to the administration who is fast tracking, warp speed, blah, 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 whatever. They're jumping through. And it actually has nothing to do with politics. It's actually the companies willing to start producing vaccines that might not work. They're already producing them so that once you get the studies, they say, okay, we have the studies, they'll already be produced, and then you can just start deploying them or ramp up faster. They've already created the infrastructure. That's all warp speed is. But there are just certain things that just take fucking time. You are just going to have to enroll 20,000 people in the vaccine arm, another 20,000 people in the placebo arm, and then you got to go say, hey, social distance, wear a mask, right? You can't tell one person, one group to go wear a mask and social distance and the other group to not, because that you can't compare that. They have to do the same thing. So they're both going to have to social distance. They're both going to have to wear a mask. Then you got to tease out, is there a difference between the two? That just fucking takes time. There is no warp speed, changing it, fast forwarding that, etc. Then you got to collect the data, you got to break it down, and you got to tease out a difference. Okay? Hopefully there will be a difference. Now, this is where the shit gets fucked up. The person who's entering the data cannot know if the patient had the vaccine or the placebo. Because if they know which group has the vaccine and which group has the placebo, it will affect the results. That's called a bias. They will have a bias. So the people working, who's crunching the numbers, cannot know which patient got placebo, which patient got vaccine. That takes time. And then what happens is then you got to send it for peer review. Then you got to send it through the journals and have the experts look at it and say, yes, this was a well-conducted study. No, this is not a good conducted study. Okay. So don't count on a vaccine working. It will take time. So first of all, it's not going to be fucking October. We're already at September. It's not going to be October. It's not going to be November. It ain't going to be before 2020. They're starting to backtrack on this hard talk. They're talking spring of 2021, which makes sense. That's how much time it's just going to take. Now, then you also have to have enough time to see a couple other things. One, is there a difference in rate, contraction, right? 2, and they have to have enough people catch it so it shows up a difference, a benefit, right? So you have to wait that out. Next, you have to wait long enough to see if the people who had the vaccine had symptoms, have side effects, unexpected side effects, undesirable side effects. That takes time. It might show up later. It might show up initially. You don't know. You have to quantify that, right? Because there are people, it's called the placebo effect, who, if they get a placebo, will act like they're coming down with symptoms. You have to tease all that out. Next number. You have to then see how long does this vaccine last for, right? Is it like the flu vaccine where you have to get it every year? Or is it like the chickenpox vaccine where you get it once when you're a little kid and you never get it again? Or is it like the hepatitis where you need booster shots, right? So far, we think coronavirus is going to take 2 shots. The vaccine for coronavirus is going to take 2 shots. So I'll just take America alone. 300 million people. It makes the math easier, right? To get herd immunity, you're looking at 60 to 70% of people have to have either vaccination or have had to catch coronavirus, right? So let's say it's 70%. 300 million, that's 210 million people would have to get the vaccine or will have had to catch it. And 2 doses, that's 400 million doses in America alone for a vaccine. And Trump is all, I don't mean to say his name, the politicians are saying, we bought 100 million doses. Dude, good for you. You're 25% of the way there. You're 25% of the way there. And that's America, where we have to convince people to take the vaccine. You understand what I'm saying? Now let's do 7 billion people. Fuck. 7 billion people. That's 5 billion doses times 2. That's 10 billion doses worldwide in order to have herd immunity. You understand how ridiculous this is? And on top of that, we don't know if it's going to work. We don't know how long it's going to last, etc. So really what you need is you need treatment. You need therapeutics, right? So let me give you some good news. Good news is this: we are better at treating COVID now. So we are better at treating COVID now. Does that make sense what I'm saying? We are better at treating COVID now. I mean, we got remdesivir. It's not the dream miracle drug, y'all. It's a 30% improvement in getting out of the hospital. It's 30% improvement, right? So it's 1 day shorter of a hospital stay, right? Dexamethasone seems to help, right? Convalescent plasma is not the miracle drug. The CDC has had to backtrack on their statement about the effectiveness of convalescent plasma. Convalescent plasma, in case you don't know, is where you take the plasma, the blood draw from people who have recovered from coronavirus, you spin it down so that you just get the plasma, and you give the antibodies to patients who are currently sick with it, thinking that if you give them antibodies, it'll help them fight it. Make sense? Yes? Problem is, it sounds like a good idea, except when you do actually, you put it in what's called in vivo, in the body. Vivo means living. See, I have to learn all this shit in med school. Living, vivo, in vivo. Then it doesn't always produce the results you think. That shit's called science. So convalescent plasma isn't going to be the end all be all. It's not going to be the amazing miracle drug. Okay. But so I said we're going to have the second wave, higher numbers in Spain, France, right? For those of you just joining. But the death rate will also go up, but it won't be as bad as it was back in April, because we know what we're dealing with now. We know to give patients supplemental oxygen. We know to do the PPEs. We know to delay, not avoid, delay intubation as long as possible. We know to start them right away with dexamethasone. We know to start them with remdesivir if you can get it. We know to have them lay down on their stomachs. That's called the prone positioning. We know that helps. We know, you can't flood their veins. We know to look out for blood clots. That's just a whole nother weird thing, right? So maybe aspirin, maybe blood thinners. We're not sure yet. That data is still out. We're not sure. But we are more aware of what we're dealing with. So even though the second wave will have a higher number, I predict Spain peaked out 8,000 average cases, 8,500 average cases a day. There'll be more than double that. There'll probably be 20,000 cases a day. So they're going to have more people in the hospital, more capacity. They're going to be overwhelmed, but they're not going to have quite as many sick people, right? Second wave. We are better at treating COVID now. So the mortality rate is going to go down. Now, there is, while that's good news, there is some bad news. It turns out there are lasting, what's called sequelae. These are side effects of COVID. You're starting to see this, right? They are called long haulers. These are things that we don't know much about. These are people that had, comment if you had coronavirus back in March and you're still tired, you're still sick, you're still groggy. Those are called long haulers. There are people like that. We don't really know what that's all about. There's a lot of mind fog, a lot of lack of focus. Oh, check this shit out. I forgot to talk about this yesterday. There's something happening with coronavirus in your heart. The coronavirus is irritating your heart. The coronavirus is irritating your brain lining, your meninges around your brain, right? It's causing inflammation around your your heart lining, right? So it's causing a cardiopathy, right? And so when people say, oh, the death rate's not that high, the death rate's low, the death rate's overblown, they're lying about death certificates, they're over-reporting death certificates, Tell those fuckers, listen, even if you survive coronavirus, COVID, what's going to happen to the long-term effects? They're not to be played with. They're not to be belittled. You're going to have an entire generation. Remember, the average age right now for coronavirus infections in the United States is 41. I'm fucking 47. I mean, the average contraction age is young. And yes, that's because of the college kids going back to college and they're testing positive and they're younger. And look, the death rate's going low because they're recovering. Yes, but we don't know yet what the long-term sequelae are going to be. So what if you're a 40-year-old man? What if you're a 35-year-old man and you're the breadwinner for your family, but you can't go back to work because you can't focus, because you're groggy, because you forget, because you're still having trouble walking, because you can't breathe? Oh, Dr. Vuong, that was because they were sick before. No, these are normal, healthy, everyday people, cyclists, fit runners, now can't run. Cyclists now can't ride a bicycle. Workers now can't work. We have yet to wrap our hands around the long-term sequelae. That's why I'm doing these COVID videos again. That's why it's becoming more and more important. More and more important that we really got to get our shit together. Okay? All right. If you found this video helpful, I hope that you will hit share. I hope that you will tag people. As always, I'll edit this down, try to, and put it up on my YouTube channel. You can see it on YouTube. And I hope you like this format. I appreciate your love and support. And as always, I want to end it on this note. Okay? I want to end it on this note. Okay? Thoughts and prayers go out to the doctors and the nurses who are no longer making the news, who are no longer being praised, and people buying coffee for our frontline workers. So my thoughts and prayers go out to them, to the medical assistants, to the lab people who have to collect the specimen, to the people who are out there at the testing centers. God bless y'all. Stay safe. The second wave is coming for you in Europe. You got to stay really safe. Next thing I'd like to say, remember, we like to say, oh, those people are on the front line. They are not the, I almost said fucking. They're not the front line. They're not the front line. Doctors and nurses are not the front line. They're the back line. If that's true, Dr. V, then who's the front line? We are the front line. You and me, we are the front line. What happens with this disease depends on how we behave. Whether or not this coronavirus devastates your community depends on us. We are the front line. Wear a mask, social distance, wash your hands, carry a thing of gel. We all want to get over this together. It's not an infringement on your civil liberties. It is the adult thing to do. It's not living in fear. It's not being a sheeple. It's none of that shit. It's like, I want to go back to fucking a new normal too, man. Like, I want my kids to go back to school again too, man. Like, let's just do what we need to do because we are the front line. We are the front line. And God bless our doctors and nurses and healthcare workers who are now the back line. They're the back line. Get that shit straight. We'll get over it a lot faster. All right. Love you guys very much. Stay safe. I'll see you tomorrow for my next update.